Today's Tiny Training Thursday is all about word chains. I'm going to discuss what they are and how you can use them with your students. And at the very end, I'm going to offer you a freebie. So what are word chains? Word chains come in a list of words, usually about 8 to 10 words in that list. And within that list, each word is changing by one phoneme. So for example, my first list might have cat at the beginning. And then I'm changing the first letter to make hat as my next word. And then maybe I'm changing the last letter, the last phoneme to make ham, for example, and etc. So word chains can be a really powerful activity for students because it helps strengthen their phonics and phonemic awareness skills. And there are various ways you can do word chains, whether it be with whiteboards, magnetic letters, or a freebie that I'm going to share with you in a few minutes. So in my phonics lesson plan, I do word chaining with my students during my second section or second part of my lesson plan, the explicit teaching of a new skill. So I usually don't start doing word chaining until the second day after I've taught my new phonics skill. I'll start to embed word chaining, which will help them practice again that phonics and phonemic awareness ability with that particular phonics skill that I'm working on. So when I'm doing word chaining, I will say the first word. So like my example before, hat, I might say hat. Students have to repeat it. Then I ask the students and I prompt them to tap out the sounds of hat and spell the word. Then I want the students to blend the sounds and say the word after spelling it. So they're practicing encoding it at first, and then they're practicing decoding it afterwards. It's important to do both. And some of the prompting I would do too is I would just say, as I'm going from hat to cat, I might say, change one sound in hat to make it cat. And I'm going to be very careful about telling them which sound because I want them to use their listening ears and their understanding of phonemic awareness and phonics and what sound is changing. And if they're struggling with that, some scaffolds I might pull in is I like to have my little poppets, my poppet cubes in front of them, and they can pop the sounds, and sometimes they can hear that different sound a little bit better. Or I might, if they're really struggling, I might just start off by telling them, ooh, we might do a few together, or tell them what position that sound is changing, and then I back away from that because I really want them to do that on their own. I have a resource that's called my word chaining list, and I have word chains that go from short vowels all the way to nasals available, and I'm working on expanding that list as well, and that is for purchase. They're already pre-made word chains because that's really important when you're doing word chains is you have them already at your fingertips and you know what you're going to say and what's the next word going to do or how the next word is going to change. And that can be hard to do on the fly. So I put all of my word chains on a ring and I hang it next to my small group table. So one way to do word chains is you can use magnetic letters, like this example here where they're just pulling the letters from the board. I do that sometimes, especially when I'm a little short on time, but I really prefer to have them write it as much as possible. So they'll get their dry erase board out, and you can see this example of this child has gone from miss to hiss to hill, and that doing not only that phonemic and phonemic awareness practice, but then also putting in the letter formation is very powerful. And then this is the freebie that's going to be available for you. This is a template you can put in a dry erase sleeve, and then they could write the 8 words or so that are in your word chain, and they're all there together where previously they erase it and it's gone. At the end, what you can do with this word chain is after they're done writing it, then you can have them go back and read it, and then they get to erase it after they read it. So this is the freebie that's going to be in the comment section below that you can you can go ahead and download for free. I'm also going to link my word chain lists, which are for a small purchase in my Teacher Pay Teacher store.